Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of FTL, Faster Than Light. I have some good news. In between episodes I've been playing another campaign and I've unlocked a new ship because I have beaten the rebel flagship, as it were. In fact, actually I beat it twice in one run because it appeared early on, which was really unexpected. But there you go, and that was because I listened to you guys, the comments, the tips, the feedback that you were leaving. I took a lot of it on board, played with a different strategy, and we won. And so I am really confident that in this run we can do it. I really do think we can now because I've got a good idea of what is needed to do it. So we're going to continue this one. We're going to do 2 sectors, so the episode will be twice as long. And let's get right into it. Actually, I need to familiarise myself a little bit here. So we don't have any extra weapons. We have a large crew. We're a little low on fuel. I like to see that number nice and high. And we've got our shields upgraded, which is good. So yeah, it looks good moving forward. Let's jump into the next sector. We can go to the NG homeworlds or the Mantis homeworlds. We're going to go to the Mantis because there's going to be more combat in that area, and I like the combat in this game. You've entered a poorly charted area of space that's known to be home to the Mantis. Ensure your hull plating is up to scratch and that you have enough fuel in your tank to make it through. Okay, let's continue. By the way, this is one of the tips, really important tip here, that was given to me, was to not always repair your hull to the fullest, but just to keep it around this mid area, because you can often encounter beacons where someone will repair your hull for free or they'll do it for cheap. So it works out in the long run and it gets you more scrap in the long run. Another thing that I wanted to see is if we had a scrap recovery arm. That's really good because that makes a huge difference in the long run, so it's well and truly worth having one of those so early on. So let's look at our beacon options. If we go up there, there's one way out. If we go down here, we can go to those two. But I think this one would be the best, so we have some nice options, and maybe we'll find out if there's a store in the area. Although we don't have much scrap, but we do need fuel. You arrive just in time to see an unusually well-armed NG ship destroying a small pirate craft. A teleporter signal is detected. Intruders on deck. And now we have an option. So a young mantis is charred. In a charred, wow, I can't read today. In a charred uniform has teleported on deck. He begs for sanctuary from the NG and offers to serve in exchange for your protection. The NG have already traced the teleporter signal and are offering a deal in exchange for the prisoner. Now, I have never actually taken up a deal here, but I'm kind of tempted to side with the Fuji, although we could get something out of this. You see, there is a bounty, and I like to be the good guy in games, but just because I haven't done this before and we've already got 6 crew members at this point in the game, I'm actually going to select the bounty. And I was punished for doing so by the looks of it. Although we did get some scraps, so Fury sparks in the eye of the Mantis. He won't go easily and causes some serious damage before he can be captured. So some of that scrap right there goes back into repairing our hull, I guess. And there is a fire. Let's quickly open these doors. Now, I read in the comments that you can press the X button. Oh, and it closes. Okay. And one of them apparently opens all doors. Maybe that's said? Oh, look at that. Okay. That is good to know. And I want to see if it opens the doors on the outside as well, because that could be very useful. But one of the things that I read, and I want to try out at some point, apparently if you open the doors between rooms to the oxygen one, it's going to fill the oxygen up quicker. And it certainly looked like it did that just then. Anyway, let's play around with this. So Z opens all the internal doors, but not the outside one. And X will close them. That is really good to know. Right, let's jump forward. Let's find out where to go. So I'm just trying to figure out a path here. You see, we're heading up to the exit pretty quickly if we go this way. Actually, is there a way down? There we go. So if we were to go down here, it would be quite the run around like that with the fleet catching us up. Could be a little risky, but I think I'm going to go for it. We're going to take the risk and go the long way around so we can go to lots of beacons. And we definitely need some fuel on our way. So this one is in an asteroid belt. So you arrive in an asteroid belt to discover that a rebel automated scout has been stationed here. Prepare for a fight. Okay, so on this one, we're just going to target their weapons. And we're going to do that with both of these, I think. Actually, no, we're not going to use the missile. I want to talk about a strategy here. Now, what I did on the last game that I played, the one that I won, is I didn't use my missiles. I always took the slower approach to fighting an enemy ship, which was to just continuously target their weapons, even if they had a shield. and that meant that although combat was slower, we saved up loads of missiles over time, and you often encounter these beacons where people will offer you something for missiles, and that turned out to be very valuable, so that is a strategy we're going to take. The ship explodes, leaving behind a substantial collection of useful scrap material. No jumps there, no jump fuel, but that's okay. And I think what we want to do right now is possibly look at an upgrade, or jump to the next area. Let's just jump. Oh, and there's a store. But the store takes us further away from the exit, and I am actually really thinking that this is going to be close if we go that way, so I am going to play it smart and actually skip the store, which I know sounds crazy. That's just unfortunate. Sometimes it goes like that, doesn't it? So a Mantis military scout seems to have just finished a salvage operation on a nearby wreck. They have no time to waste with warnings and appear to wish to fight, so we don't really need to pause while our weapons are charging. We're going to do this the slow way, like I said before, and target their weapons, and we're going to send our crew member up the front to help there. And one of the cool things I did in this other campaign that I played is I got a fire weapon given to me, and I decided to use it because I've been reading that apparently, and it looks like that guy needs to go to the med bay. So apparently if you kill all of the crew members on a ship you get more scrap, and that seemed to be very true, so that works out quite well. Let's put our med bay online and let that guy heal, and I am just getting distracted by my own talking here. We want to target that right there. So we are playing this the slow way with the burst lasers being the only weapon we're using, but as we get more weapons it will get a little bit faster. Now if you were observing what happened there, that just took some damage, which means there's fire in that room. But since we can't see the internals of their ship and their staff, oh now we can. You see, we could target their medbay next since there's a fire in there, and if we kill these two guys, we have a good shot at getting some more scrap, which would be pretty cool. But no missiles, I'm sorry, I know it means we're going to be a little bit slower, but we're only going to use those in emergencies, and of course we destroyed their hull, so that's it. But we've got a little bit more fuel, which is important, and we will actually have a look at our possible upgrades. Some of these could be quite useful. I think at the moment I really need to hold out for another weapon. But it is tempting. 100 for a shield and then 50 to power it. We could upgrade our shields, but that feels a little too early on. So let's turn off our medbay and jump to the next one. It is going to be one heck of a race across the map, I think. Who knows? We had to pass up the opportunity to go to that ship, which is kind of annoying. But anyway, you cross paths with a Mantis ship that looks to have had dozens of layers of armor plating added over what must have been a 100-year carrier. Its captain is legendary thief. Let's try this. Kazakapelefiklik. Kazakapelefiklik. That is one hell of a word right there, or a name even. Your crew look frightened, so we will prepare to fight, and we will just target the burst lasers, no sorry, the weapons, and then we'll send those guys there. And was that a missile? It was, but it missed. That's cool. That's the evasion helping us out. That is something we could actually upgrade, which would be smart. And that missed. That's good. Here's another thing. I totally forgot what I was going to say. Oh yes, I keep using this down here. I keep clicking and clicking over there. I'm going to put my hand on the keyboard because you can press 1, 2, and 3 and 4 to select the weapons, and that will make it a little bit quicker overall. And I want to try and keep that in mind to do that. Okay, we've got to send our crew members over here. Oh, apparently you can select crew members like this as well. These things are going to be extremely useful if I can get them into my head. And that's not good. Our hull just got damaged. And we've got to watch out for these guys actually, because they're taking some serious damage. But there we go, there's another crew member of theirs down. Let's target our burst lasers at their weapon again, and the next shot will probably take them out. So we are doing good. That guy needs to go and repair our doors. There we go. Free jump, that's good. Awesome. Okay, so the med bay is now offline again. Must remember to keep checking that. We have a lot of scrap. I think it would be smart at this point to upgrade something. Now I'm tempted to do the shields, although we do need to keep money over in case we run into another store and possibly get a weapon. So I think it's going to be the engines. That dodge is really going to help. So an extra 5 dodge takes us down to 138. That's good. Let's put the power on the engines and move forward to the next beacon. And what awaits us here? You see a civilian space station with heavy damage. You receive a message.
We've been hit hard by the war. We need more drone parts to speed up our repairs. We'll buy some from you if you have extra.
Well, that is perfect, my friends, because we don't want ours. So we will sell 6 drone parts for 24 scrap. Awesome, thank you very much. Excellent. Right, let's get on our way to the next beacon. And do you know what? It's starting to look like I panicked a bit with this whole taking the long way around, because it looks like we've got plenty of time to get around there, but oh well, doesn't matter. Let's keep moving forward. So a nearby Mantis mining operation is clearly using heavy NG slave labour. You briefly consider the possibility of emancipating the slaves, but the Mantis presence is too formidable. You decide to lay low. Fair enough. So a bit of a nothing beacon. On to the next one. Another unarmed ship patrols this area. You prepare for combat. Oh, the ship starts to power up its FTL drive. If it gets away, no doubt it will warn the fleet of your position. Well, that is actually really bad in our situation, because although it doesn't look like it was as close to get round as it once was, and we certainly don't yeah, we don't want this turning sour, do we? So I think what we're going to do is use one missile to take off their shields, target their weapons, and then we will target another system. This one right here. I think that means you can't jump, but if your engines are damaged, you can. Still not 100% sure about that. Let me know over a comment if you know the answer. Right, so now we just want to target their weapons and then get out of here. And they are pretty much a sitting duck at the moment. And our FTL drive is ready as well. There we go. What do we get? The ship breaks apart and you feel the relief in the knowledge that you will hopefully still be one step ahead of the fleet. So we got 2 missiles from that and some scrap, that's good. Let's jump forward to the next one. Still looks like it's going to be a little bit close actually, but we'll soon find out. So a nearby station hails you.
Greetings, your arrival is most fortuitous. Fortuitous? We recently came across some extra drones. If you have some fuel, perhaps we can make a deal.
Well, I'm going to reject that because we don't need the drone parts and we definitely need our fuel. And we have a distress beacon. So let's jump up there and check out what's going on. You locate a nearby human mining colony, where an unknown disease has spread. I have not seen that word before, and I can't really pronounce it. Never mind. They are setting up a quarantine to contain it, but a riot has broken out. So we can send in our crew to help control the crowds. We can ignore their request to move on. Send your rock crew member to prevent a riot. Send your NG to calm down the infected. I think that we should send down our rock crew. We're going to go with that one. It is a complete gamble, and it looks like it might have paid off. It's unlikely the rock's impressive immune system is susceptible to human virus, so you send it in. It is able to intimidate the workers long enough for the colony forces to set up a quarantine. Their leader offers a reward and assures you they will find a cure as soon as possible. That was well and truly worth taking that risk, because we got fuel, missiles, scrap, and an iron blast weapon. That is cool. I don't use this one a lot. I don't rely my strategy on it either, but we're going to upgrade our weapons and give that some power, because that is going to be useful. It doesn't require missiles. I think it doesn't. No, it doesn't. That's cool. So we can now go to the store. There's a store here, and then go to the exit, but it will be inside of this area by then, which means a tougher fight. However, we can either pick up some goods like some crew members or weapons, or we can upgrade our shields with the scrap that we have. So either way, I think it's going to work out. Upon arriving at the beacon, you are hailed by a well-spoken mantis. "Hail, traveller, these are dangerous times. Perhaps you will find yourself in need of our services." He appears to be a trader. Very cool. Oh, the burst laser. Nice, we want another one of those. That's excellent. So there's some crew members available as well. Automatic reloader is very powerful. We can also get cloaking. Now this, we will get this a little bit later. We're going to get this in our run because it makes a big difference. But this is nice. We don't need those two, we just need that one and that one, which is going to be 120. So if we were to do that, then we would want to spend 25 on one of those and 50, so another 75. It's not quite enough for us to have the 2 burst lasers at the same time, is what I'm saying. But I think we're going to take a risk here. Risks are good because they come with great rewards. So let's go to the store, let's buy that burst laser, let's buy our automated reloader, and now we have 41 scrap left, so I'm going to spend this on fuel because I don't like that thing running low at all. And I think we will just fix 2 bits of our hull just in case. There we go. I feel comfortable with that, that's good. Right, it's time for us to move back into the next area. And that is really close to that border. Now, when you move back into that border, I think it's pretty much game over, so... let's hope, let's hope. Okay, that looks doable. So you found the exit beacon, but the rebels got here first. You must survive long enough to be able to jump to the next sector. Okay, let's pause for a second. So we're going to target their weapons with that one and their shields with this one. And this one I think we can fire twice before the burst lasers are ready. We have a crew. Let's use the drag like that on boards, and I've got to remember to use those hotkeys for weapons. There we go. Okay, so what's happening over here? It's really hard to kind of watch everything all at once. We've got another iron blast ready. It looked like it took the shields off when that burst laser went in, which is good. Okay, they fired a missile, it hit our oxygen. That means we desperately need to send someone over there to put out the fire, so I'm going to send in our rock guy. And this guy's going to need some backup now. And I think we're going to send our guy from the engines down there. Hopefully that works out. Right, my iron blast is ready again, just not paying enough attention here. It's really hard to manage it all. There we go, and down go the shields, so we're going to target those 2 again. And now our guy's putting out the fire. These guys here are okay, so I'll send you back up there and you to the engine. And that just hit our doors, that is worrying. Our hull has just taken a lot of damage. Okay, it's time for me to focus. We're sending this guy up there to help put out the fire. We're going to bring our med bay online because some of our guys are actually a little bit damaged, so you're going to go back there. And let's see how that works out. Right, so my iron blast is ready. We need to keep their weapons offline at this point. It's not working with just the burst laser. Okay, these guys are now repairing. That's good. Wow, we are not doing that great at the moment. So you're going to go and repair that. Actually, you're going to go over there and fight that guy. It's really hard to manage all of this and commentate. Remember, I'm commentating as well. That always makes things a little more distracting, trying to put your thoughts into words as you're doing everything and fighting a ship. Well, that's another point of damage to our hull. We are not doing that great. Oh, there we go. At last, it's offline. But now my iron blast is offline, which isn't great. Now these guys over here, we're going to go back there and heal. All 3 of you can stay there on the engines. Actually, no, you can help repair the weapons. Okay, burst lasers ready. And we need to bring our iron blast back online. Okay, how are we doing, crew? I think what we want to do is just send everyone back to their regular positions, like that. Take off the med bay, put the engine online. There we go, we're good. Okay, weapons. Another thing, you see me pause a lot here. The thing is, if I'm going to do this manually and select it while the game's running, it's a little more time that gets wasted. So when I look down there and see it's ready, that's why I tend to pause naturally. Let's just take off their oxygen now. Starve them out. You see, we can see what they're all doing here. And if we can keep their oxygen and stuff offline, we could kill them that way, but it'll take a little too long. Just going to target different parts of their ships now. Anyway, if we do get a fire weapon later on, then we could try and kill all the crew while we're fighting, which would be pretty cool. Anyway, let's just finish this now. They need one more hit and they're out, so it doesn't really matter where we target. And by the way, our hull has taken a right beating. There we go, so we don't get anything from that one because it was a risky end of sector fight when we were in the rebel territory, but now it's time for us to jump to the next sector. So I'm going to take a little break and be back with you in a second. Okay, on to the next sector. We can go to Rebel or Civilian. Of course, we're going to go to the Rebel one, because I like to fight. Okay, let's see what awaits us here. Just notice the music change to the music you hear when you're in the Rebel area. So we're going to go to this one, then across to that nebula. That seems smart. Can we get out? Oh no, we can't get out of the nebula. So we're going to head up and then basically try and take the long way through these. So it's connected there as well. And it's connected there. So let's just go to this one and see what happens. We'll figure that out in a moment. It's always important to figure that out though. Right. Another tough fight is in front of us. By the time you notice the rebel ship behind the beacon, it's too late to avoid a fight. I think we need to upgrade our shields soon. Certainly feels like that. Let's target the Iron Blast on their weapons and our burst lasers. We just want them to do as little damage as possible to us at this point. They have drones. Do they have the ability to board? Alright, we've set them on fire. That's good. Let's target that again. Nice. That's really lucky actually that there's fire in there. That's going to make our lives a lot easier. Let's target their shields. Oh, what just happened? A fire broke out in my... Oh, damn it, I wasn't even paying attention. Okay, let's send these three over there. Actually, no, we're going to keep our guy in the engine area. And then you're going to have to go to the med bay. And we're going to have to bring that online. Man, this is crazy. Okay. We have no weapons. We're going to have to use a missile because otherwise they're going to start doing some damage to us. There we go. So we're keeping their weapons down. That's good for the moment. Man, we are cutting it close in this run at the moment. Okay, let's bring on the burst lasers and target them at their weapons. And now we can bring on our Iron Blast and we will target that at their weapons as well. Oh man, this is cutting it close. That guy's okay. Let's bring him back to his area. And then send... Oh, we just need to press that button there, don't we? Let's take off the med bay. Our engines guy is now... Oh, what was that? Is that some sort of drone thing going on? Oh, I don't know. Right, let's target their weapons again. Okay, it's trying to get away. And we really need to just keep... Actually, let's target their thing so they can't get away, their helm. Alright, it's offering surrender, and do you know what? With that amount of missiles and fuel, and considering my fuel's going to get low soon, I'm actually going to take that. It's not something I'd normally do, but... I feel like they can damage us. We're going to accept it. This time they can get away. So we've run into a couple of tricky fights now, and I'm getting a little worried about it. Do you know what I think might be a good idea? To have two burst lasers instead of using the Iron Blast and the missile, which we don't even use. We should have done that before, actually. Silly, I didn't notice that. Okay. Right, this guy needs healing, so I'm going to heal him, and then we'll be ready to move. Okay, let's jump forward to the next beacon. I think we're going to go around like that and around these ones, and because both of these connect we can possibly jump down to that one, so that to me feels like the best way to go. Okay, a Federation encrypted signal is being broadcasted from a nearby planet. Send an away party to investigate. It could be a trap. Let's move on. I think we'll take the risk and send the away party. And look at that. You find a hidden Federation outpost. They message you.
Quick, we've just gotten word from a sister outpost that they've been discovered by the rebels and are under attack. If you're still loyal to the Federation, go save them.
Added a quest marker on your map. Well, that is something we could definitely do. We now have plenty of fuel and a fair amount of scrap, which is nice. And our quest beacon is down here, which makes me think that we should jump this way, go around like that maybe, and then come back up. And we have to go to that one to jump across. It's going to be close, isn't it? Unless we go back on ourselves now. What do we want to do? I think we should be smart and go back on ourselves here, because it looks like we could cut it close like we did last time. And that ended up with us taking some damage to the hull, so that wasn't too good. And who knows, the reward of the quest could be quite good as well. You arrive in the sector to see a small outpost being bombarded by an automated drone. This must be the Federation base you were told about. Okay. Let's pause for a second here. We've got 2 lots of burst lasers. We're going to target them all on weapons. And then it's just a waiting game. Oh, that's another thing. These drones, every time... Maybe not every time. Now I'm starting to get distracted. Let's take off their drones next. So yeah, the crew members, they get a little level up thing, and sometimes it happens when the drones hit the shields, like just then. And I've read a couple of tips about taking down a ship so they can't really do much but leave their drones running, and then that way you can level up your crew, which is kind of cheaty but is a pretty cool strategy actually. And there we go, we've taken them down. And we get some fuel and some scrap, that's good. And we got a fire beam! Yes! That's going to be awesome. So, with the threat gone, you contact the Federation outpost. They respond.
Our location has been compromised. Take everything you can and please drop off our survivors at the next station.
One soldier offers to stay and fight. We have a new crew member as well. That is fantastic. This fire beam is so cool. Let's go and check it out. So this thing right here, it needs required power 2. We're going to... yeah, I think we should keep the missile always equipped. So if ever we're in a fight, we do have the option to drop back and use some of our missiles. But this thing right here, if we get into a fight where we take down their weapons and their shields, we could then use the fire beam to kill all of the crew on board, and then we'll get more scrap from it. And this made a huge difference. So moving forward from this point, we should be doing pretty good. And we have an extra crew member. Where are you going to go, guy? I think I want to put you up in the oxygen area. So there's an extra crew member for these 2 rooms. Like these 2 will help out with going to shields and the helm. And then we're going to save our crew member positions. That is awesome. Do we want to upgrade anything? We're going to need more power for our weapons, but that's quite pricey. So at the moment it's about managing it. And it's going to be 120 plus, yeah, 125 plus extra power. So we can't do that right now. And we're getting to that point where we're going to need to upgrade our shield soon as well. So I think we just need to focus on collecting scrap. Now there is a store, however, I feel like we kind of have what we need at the moment. But we'll check it out and then we'll go up to this distress beacon and we can make our way out like that. And then possibly visit these 2 beacons as well. It's going to be a close one. You discover a resupply station used by the rebels and civilians alike. Do you know what, we don't really need to read this, do we? It's just a shop. We'll skip that. We'll skip some of those from now on, I think. Okay, so we can get crew that have some skills, but you know what, we've got a big crew as it is. There's that cloaking, we want to get that at some point. And drones. So coming here wasn't the best of ideas, really, was it? But we will fix a little bit of our hull. I think that'll do. This is a bit more pricey than the last one as well. But that's all we really need at this point, so we'll close and we'll jump. Now what I'm thinking is we go there, and then it's going to be close, isn't it? You see, what we really want is more beacons around the exit. Do you know what? I'm not going to play any silly games, we'll just go straight up there and see what happens. So, distress. You find the source of a distress call, a small research station. It appears to be a small laboratory. The fire got out of control and it is threatening to destroy the station. Their fire suppression system is not responding. So send your crew in a shuttle to put out the fire. Dock and try to rescue the survivors, leave, or send your rock crew fire member in. Well, that's a good idea because he's immune to fire, so let's try that. Your rock soldier tears through the airlock directly into the fire. You've never seen someone that large move that fast. It disperses as much as the fire suppressant as possible into the heart of the blaze, and eventually the fires start to die down. Contact the survivors. Awesome. With the most of the fire under control, the scientists are able to help secure the stage. Oh wow, I'm butchering that. They offer you their sincere gratitude and a generous reward. So 50 free scrap and long range scanners, they are really handy, those. So now when we jump forward we can actually see what's happening at the other ones, which is cool. So I'm thinking we want to jump there and then to that one, or maybe like this, so we can visit the extra beacon on the way out. But if we're going to go there, I think we need to think about upgrades. So it's 150 for our shields, and at this point I think that could be a good idea, and then we can focus on weapons. So yeah, I think this is the time to do it. There we go, we have an extra layer of shielding now, so let's jump up to that one. You stumble across a forward scout of the rebel fleet. They are powering up their FTL. If they get away, they will no doubt warn the fleet of your position. This is not good. Let's take out their weapons immediately. Actually, they're already charging, so as soon as we've taken out their weapons, we need to target their helm. I still don't know if it makes a huge difference. And that's not good. We've already got a crew member there. Let's send the rock fella over. Oh, that's the slow mover. Never mind, we'll send that guy. And I've got to keep an eye on this guy's health. Looks like he's going to be alright. Okay, that's good. We've got a fire up the top. That is fantastic. Although they are hitting us, we really need to take their weapons offline because we don't want to take a lot of hull damage. And that guy, I guess, can now head back. There we go. So now we will target their engines. And actually, no. Let's pause. I want to bring online the fire beam. We've got an opportunity here. Although if we look at their... yeah, look at that. They're going to be done with. So it doesn't matter. But there was an opportunity there. If they weren't charging their FTL drive, we could have done that. The ship breaks apart and you are relieved to know that you are still one step ahead of the fleet. So we get 42 scrap and a couple of missiles. That's alright, although we took a couple of points of damage to our hull, which wasn't particularly great. It looks like we're going to go to this one, then that one, and then we're on our way out. So let's do this. There is not much interest. There is not much of interest nearby. A small sun in the distance with a few orbiting planets in the nearby space provide a little bit of interest. Well, that was a bit of a nothing jump, so on to the next one. Oh, this isn't good. You arrive to find yourself extremely close to the star. You receive a message from a pirate ship.
I'm glad you arrived. Our ship is damaged and we're getting desperate. I hope you don't mind if we take yours.
Hostiles detected on board the ship. Okay, let's see where these guys are. We're going to send you. Actually, I think we're going to turn on our med bay here. Make sure our shields are still on. That's good. Okay, we're going to pretty much send everyone down here because we're going to have 4 of these guys to deal with. And there's 2 in that room there. And so we're going to fight like that. 2v2 in both locations. Then we'll move them into the med bay and swap them with our guys in the med bay and then get the hell out of here. However, I've just realised that we no longer have anyone on the engines or the helm and we need to charge up our FTL drive. So actually, Ken, you're going to go back to your outpost there on the front. And where is our engines guy? That's our weapons. There he is. So it was... where's the engines guy? Okay, he was in the med bay. Let's outnumber them in this room. And then keep an eye on the health of the different members. So almost a good strategy, but we made a little bit of a mistake there. Okay, now it's Brian's turn to get the hell out of there. And who else is taking damage? No one else really. Oh, what was that? Solar flare imminent. That is not good. This could be bad because fires could break out on board. Okay, they've broken into that room, which is the worst room to fight us in because I'm going to send our rock guy down there. Actually, no. We can just open all of these doors like this. That'll work. We'll take out the fire that way. Yeah, the med bay is the worst place for them to fight us because our guys are healing while they're fighting. Okay, cool. Out goes the fire. And now we just need to organise our crew. So Brian, what was your thing? Shields. You can go back down there. This guy was on doors normally. And weapons, so you go stand in that room and you can get healed up. And so can you, and then we're ready to get out of here. Although, we might have a solar flare coming in, so the quicker we get out of here, the better. And there it is. Come on, can we jump? Can we jump? Jump! We did it. We just about got away in time, and all of our crew members are healed up. So, when we come into this place... oh, let's see, we've got a little bit of a thing to do here. So, a rebel space station and a single fighter is monitoring this beacon. For Federation activity, a number of civilians are docked, waiting inspection by the rebels and a possible detainment. If they are Federation loyalists, the rebels haven't noticed yet. So fend for yourself, attack and escape. Bribe the rebels to release the civilian ships. Stay quiet and hope they don't notice you. I don't think I've encountered this one before, and I think for that tiny amount of scrap, if they're going to release the civilian ships, that might mean we get a reward in exchange. So fending for yourself, attacking and escaping, or just trying to go past is basically not going to result in anything really. So we'll try that one. Like most rebels, these are just men trying to get by in a rough galaxy. They take your scrap and let everyone continue on their journeys. So we contact the civilian ships, and one of the civilian ships contacts you and reveals they are Federation loyalists. An eavesdropping rebel swoops in, destroys the ship, and turns to attack you. Thank you very much. This one has a low shield. We have a fire beam. I think it's time to kill all of their crew members. And we need to just check the situation with our team. There we go, everyone's in the correct position. Let's take off one of these burst lasers and charge up the fire beam. We're first of all going to target their weapons. We have to take down the shields, by the way, when we fire the fire beams. So this is going to fire once, the fire beam is still going to be charging up, and that's good to see it went all the way down. So we're going to target the shield next. But as soon as we fire that, that's when we do the fire beam. So shield breaks, we pause, and we're going to do like this. So those 5 rooms have a really good chance of being set on fire, and look at that. They are in trouble, their shields are down, their weapons are down, and we're going to have to hit their weapons and make sure they stay offline. There we go, and now we need to take down their shields again and spread another fire. So we just need to wait for that burst laser. Okay, now it's time for the fire. We're going to just go through those rooms again. It appears they have a drone for putting out fires, which is actually causing a lot of problems for us, or at least for our plan to burn them. And do you know what? It looks like we might not be able to do this, because the next shots we're going to do is going to hurt their hull. We will not accept their surrender. No, we won't. The fire beam is online. We're just going to have to give it a try. This is probably... Actually, look, we're just going to destroy them now, aren't we? So... Let's wait it out for a second. Okay. I don't know if we get more scrap because of that. The ship explodes, leaving behind a substantial collection of useful scrap material. That could indicate that that worked and we got more scrap, but 38 is what we get. And we have a plentiful amount of missiles as well as a fair amount of scrap as well. But that is it for this sector. That means it's it for this episode as well. If you've enjoyed it, please do leave a like, but I will catch you in the next episode. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.